Hi, I'm Barry Sahasian, and today I'd like to discuss a minor 7 flat 5 chord. This can be scary and very confusing to a lot of bass players, myself included, until I took the time to understand what it is about and how to use it. And that's what I'm going to do today for you. First of all, I'd like to outline what a minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio looks like and the intervals in it, and why it's called also a half diminished chord. So you got minor 7 flat 5 and half diminished chord. Same thing, different terminology. Let's look at this. I'm going to be playing a D minor 7 flat 5. It just so happens that even though it has a flat 5, it's diatonic to the key of C. So a minor 7 flat 5 occurs naturally in a C major scale starting on the 7th degree, which is also from the Locrian mode. Now that is an arpeggio in the key of C starting from the 7th degree, and that would be a minor 7 flat 5 chord. The intervals would be a minor third from B to D, and then another minor third interval from D to F, which would be the flat 5 of B, and then we have a flat 7 of the B minor 7 chord, which would be the A, and this would be your minor 7 flat 5 chord in the key of C. If you want to look at it in intervals, once again, minor third, and then major third. Now the thing is, it almost is diminished when you think about it. The triad, the first three notes, B, D, and F, would be a diminished triad because you have a flat 5. But then when you go to the A, that would be a major third, which means it's not completely a diminished. And that is the reason why it's called half diminished. You have a diminished triad starting from the B, 7th degree of the C major scale. And then we have the flat 7, the dominant 7th. Now what happens if we should lower that A, the flat 7 of the... So that's why it's called a half diminished. Just that one note, the 7th of the B minor 7, lowered down all the intervals a minor third apart, and that is the chemistry of a diminished chord. So now that we've discussed the difference between a minor 7 flat 5 and a diminished chord, let's look at the minor 7 flat 5 and what we can do with it. Typically, when you see or hear minor 7 flat 5, it's relating to jazz, in particular the 2-5-1 progression. And there's two types of 2-5-1 progressions I like to discuss, and one has a full measure of the 2, a full measure of the 5, and 2 full measures of the C. Then we'll move on to the next way of playing a 2-5, which would be 2 beats on the 2, 2 beats on the 5, and 4 beats on the 1. Those two progressions are typical in jazz for the most part. So what I'm going to do is start real simple, and we're going to play an arpeggiated line from the root. First one would be like this. So there you have one measure of the 2 minor 7, one measure of the G7, and 2 measures of the C major 7. 2 minor 7, 5-7 to 1 major 7. Let's move on to 2 beats for the minor 7, 2 beats for the 5-7, and 4 beats for the C major 7. And I'm going to play it a little differently and take some shortcuts. I'm not going to use the whole arpeggio like I did in the last example. To show you a slight variation and would be easier to finger as well. I would play that like this. So what I did with that is I played the first line the same as I did just now, but in order to make it go a little smoother, what I did was start the 5/7 on the third. So we had that nice smooth transition of the 7th of the D minor 7 flat 5 to the 3 of the G7. Then when I got to the C major 7th, the 1 chord, I did the same thing. I started from the 3, and it really sounds nice. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed it and got something out of it. Please subscribe, hit the bell to be notified, comment, let me know what you're interested in learning, and I'll see what I can do. And until next time, have a good day.